Snow White was essentially a box office dud.
Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster for Disney. As we've heard.
Disney is severing ties with Rachel Zegler entirely. She wouldn't keep her outspoken voice quiet, and now Disney's Snow White was essentially a box office flop. Rachel Zegler has been labeled a walking PR catastrophe for Disney. We've heard she took a classic fairy tale and transformed.
Everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
It into a fiasco, and now her defiant demeanor is getting her shunned. To everyone who despises when I succeed, the winged victory arrived at the L in fragments. And people still queue to see her. And everything I create, people will wait in line to witness. But she's not accepting this passively. Disney is facing a lawsuit for excluding her from future endeavors. We're now gearing up to sue Disney, plus other major movie studios, for canceling her.
Now preparing to sue Disney as well as other mega movie studios for terminating her future contract without reason.
Upcoming contracts without cause. So, what truly is this bizarre spectacle? Hollywood has witnessed career plummets before, but this is like a meteor crashing toward Earth. We are officially observing the Rachel Zegler phenomenon in real time. And it's just like watching a derailment in slow motion. Snow Brown, a vibrant Latina with skin as pale as snow. Rachel has somehow managed to shift from Hollywood's next rising star to the biggest Disney debacle. And
Weird.
it all began with her remarks about the original Snow White film, calling it strange and antiquated. The original cartoon debuted in 1937, and it's very apparent now. Listen, you can tamper with many things in Hollywood, but you do not tamper with nostalgia. Naturally, the internet erupted. Fans were outraged, demanding Disney drop her. And guess
Snow Brown, a spicy Latina with skin as white as snow.
what? It seems Disney actually heeded, because it's Rachel who may be facing the consequences. It all started when Zegler's interviews about Snow White went viral, but not positively. Instead of celebrating the charm of the 1937 classic, she essentially called it sexist and outdated. She dismissed the original romance, saying it was creepy and superfluous. She's not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be saved by the prince. And she's not going to...
It all started with her comments about the original Snow White movie, calling it weird and outdated.
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently.
Dreaming about true love. Dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. Now, here's the thing. Disney fans adore Snow White because it's a timeless gem. But instead of amplifying the nostalgia, Zegler made it sound like she was starring in Snow White and the Feminist Declaration. Nobody was entertained. Just look at some of these remarks. There is absolutely no way I'm ever watching this rubbish. Look, Hollywood loves a bold progressive narrative, but there's a fine line between being an advocate and being unbearable. Rachel might
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
have crossed that line. Every interview felt less like film promotion and more like a social media rant about why everything is problematic. So the outcome shouldn't shock. Box office for a Disney live-action remake that they've ever produced, like Dumbo. Now, rumors swirl that Disney has had enough of Zegler's PR nightmares and has quietly opted to sever ties with her.
Box office from a Disney live-action remake that they've ever done in Dumbo.
And to make it extra theatrical, they're allegedly planning to do it on Christmas Day. That's right, Disney, the company famed for wholesome magic and festive cheer, might be delivering Zegler's termination notice as a holiday present. And honestly, can you fault them? Continue on Snow White and the prince in young love and women who aspire to marry. The signs have
Continue shitting on Snow White and the prince and young love and women who want to get married.
The writing has been on.
been clear for a while, Zegler has been tied to multiple projects that either flopped or underperformed. West Side Story, lackluster figures, Shazam. Fury of the Gods was also a box office ghost town. Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, lowest grossing film in.
Yeah, they certainly are. Now listen, if Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office, they are more than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea. Maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood.
The entire franchise. Disney is in crisis mode, trying to recover from a series of financial blunders. Cough, the Marvels. Cough, and they can't afford to keep investing in someone who literally drives audiences away. Yeah, they certainly are. Now listen, if Disney wants to produce more woke films that flop at the box office, they're free to do so, but maybe consider an original.
Currently, Snow Woke and the 7 pronouns is sitting at 43% on the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes.
Concept, not ruin a classic from my youth. As the backlash intensifies, old clips of Zegler have also resurfaced, which have led to all of Andrew's scenes possibly getting cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. And instead of damage control, it felt like she just kept doubling down. She dismissed critiques, laughed off concerns, and at one point seemed outright irritated at the
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
notion of promoting the film. When asked if she was thrilled to play Snow White, she replied, "I just mean, I don't really like the original film, so..." Well, there has been inevitable backlash online, fans accusing Disney of injecting unnecessary feminism into classic fairy tales. Disney invested over $250 million into Snow White, anticipating a global box office triumph.
The cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
Got instead was a catastrophe. Early projections suggested a brutal flop, with one of the worst openings for a Disney live-action remake. Currently, Snow Woke and the 7 pronouns is sitting at 43% on the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes. And let's not even discuss China, where it reportedly earned less than $1 million. Turns out, alienating your audience and...
Well, there has been inevitable backlash online, fans accusing Disney of inserting unnecessary feminism into classic fairy tales.
Trashing a classic isn't the best marketing tactic. One of Zegler's biggest gripes about Snow White was the prince. She repeatedly mocked the original romance, calling him a stalker and suggesting his scenes should be cut entirely. Original. Cartoon came out in 1937 and very evident. So, there is a big focus on her love story. With a guy who literally stalks her.
These are roles made for actors of my stature. I can't go out for the Harrison Ford or the George Clooney roles because that's not for me.
Yeah,
Zegler, of
weird. Now, sure, the prince isn't exactly the most developed Disney character, but did she forget she was starring in a love story? It's like signing up for Romeo and Juliet and then demanding Romeo be written out, naturally. Disney fans didn't take kindly to this, and social media erupted with calls to boycott the film. Oh, but it gets better. In came Peter Dinklage, who criticized Disney for even including dwarves, calling it offensive. Disney, in full panic mode, scrapped the classic 7 dwarves and replaced them with random CGI creatures. These are
Y2K is a smash
roles made for actors of my stature. I can't go out for the Harrison Ford or the George Clooney roles because that's not for me. Zegler, of course, praised the decision, acting as though she personally revolutionized fairy tales. But instead of applause, fans were left baffled, frustrated, and wondering if anyone involved in this film even liked Snow White. Hollywood tried to push Rachel Zegler as the next A-list star. But the box office numbers prove she's about as bankable as play money. Y2K was supposed to be her big moment, her chance to shine outside of big franchises. Instead, Y2K hit the box office like a dial-up connection in 1999, painfully slow and
There appears to be a sizable problem. Where are the dwarves?
full of errors. The movie opened to a tragic $2, $1 million on a $15 million budget. That's not just bad, that's someone's getting fired for this bad. And just to rub salt in the wound, it got absolutely smoked by movies that have been out for weeks. Even a re-release of Interstellar, a film from 2014, made more money. Christopher Nolan's wormhole time travel movie outperformed Rachel Zegler's brand new film. Man, if only they'd let the dwarves stick around for Snow White. Perhaps the turnout would have been a bit better. The backlash was so severe that Disney reportedly scrapped the original release date for Snow White, and is now.
Of course, what would you do when you have this narcissistic nightmare trying to ruin a film?
Full of errors. The movie opened to a tragic $2, $1 million on a $15 million budget. That's not just bad, that's someone's getting fired for this bad. And just to rub salt in the wound, it got absolutely smoked by movies that had been out for weeks. Even a re-release of Interstellar, a film from 2014, made more money. Christopher Nolan's wormhole time travel movie outperformed Rachel Zegler's brand new film. Man, if only they'd let the dwarves stick around for Snow White. Perhaps the turnout would have been a bit better. The backlash was so severe that Disney reportedly scrapped the original release date for Snow White and is now.
Person, in my opinion, Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like
baggage she brings, better person, in my opinion. Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie and acts like she's some kind of victim. And that's the kind of mindset that's just poisoning people's minds. She acts like. So, Zegler isn't just bad for business, she's a liability. And in Hollywood, if you're not making money, you're not making movies. It's not just Hollywood turning its back on Zegler. The internet has collectively decided she's canceled. The Snow White trailer racked up millions of dislikes, and social media has turned her into a meme machine. People are making edits of her interviews with captions like "How to kill a movie franchise in 10 seconds or less." She's become the poster child for Hollywood misfires. And at this point, if you see her name on a movie poster, you already know it's a financial risk. But hey, at least it's a good thing Rachel doesn't need our business. I don't need your business. Thanks, so be it. Anyway, what's next for Zegler? A Broadway comeback? A Dancing with the Stars redemption arc? Maybe an apology tour? Unless she makes a dramatic career shift or pulls a Robert Downey Jr. level comeback. The industry seems ready to leave her behind. So it looks like, at the end of the day, Rachel is learning the hard way that Hollywood isn't just about talent. It's about likability. Can't alienate your audience, disrespect beloved franchises, and expect to stay on top. Zegler went from Hollywood's next big thing to Hollywood's next big disaster in record time. And
I don't need your business. Thanks.
If there's one lesson to take from this, simple. Never bite the hand that casts you. Because in this town, once they're done with you, there's no coming back. So long, Snow White. Looks like the fairest of them all just got the iciest shoulder in Hollywood. What do you guys think? Was Disney right to distance itself from her? Or are they just shifting the blame? And would you still watch a movie with Rachel Zegler in the future? Or is she completely canceled in your eyes? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop with all the latest celebrity news. Oh, and hey, check out our next video. You won't want to miss it.